Welcome to PUC Online Classroom. Today we are moving on to Unit 16. What's your excuse? So the word excuse means the reason or the ideas that you use to give someone because you don't want to do it with him or her. Okay, let me give you an example. Maybe your friend would like to invite you to go somewhere, especially watching the movie, and then actually you don't really like him or her. So instead of saying, hey, I don't like you, I don't want to go with you, and then you probably have to say, oh, I'm sorry, I have an assignment to do. Okay, so I cannot go with you. I'm sorry for this. All right, so these can be an excuse that you can make. All right, so let's take a look at the activity in the book altogether. So excuses. So the first one is ending a phone call. You probably have reasons behind that. So you probably can say, oh, I'm driving right now. Okay, as you can see the picture is playing game, but of course they said I'm driving right now. That can be an excuse. And my battery is dying. It's like your phone battery is dying, so you need to charge, just an example. That's why you end a phone call. Okay, another one is forgetting to meet someone. Okay, for perhaps you don't remember at all. Okay, so you probably can say I remember the date wrong, or you can say I forgot to check my calendar. So that is the reason you don't want, or probably you forget that. Okay, and this can be possible, all right, to use. Another one, not doing homework. Especially students love to do this with their teachers, and normally they love to say, oh, sorry teacher, my computer crashed, or I thought it was due tomorrow, the deadline is tomorrow, not today. Just an example, things like that. All right. And another one is that getting to class late is also uh, a good excuse from some kind of student as well. I couldn't get it right. Okay, you cannot, and I missed the bus. Okay, so these are reason or excuses that they love to give to their teachers whenever they get to class late. Another one is not accepting a date, and you probably can say, I already have plans, or I have a doctor's appointment, or I am busy, or I have a boyfriend, or I have a girlfriend. So these are the excuses that you can love to make. All right. And if you want to find out more excuses, probably you can go to this website, answers.yahoo.com. All right. So you can find more information about excuses if you want to use. Okay. So let me move on to number 2. This is about perspective. Who said it? Okay, this one is about listening. What you need to do is to listen and find out about the answers. Okay, who do you think made this request? Listen and match. Okay, so these are the people who make the request. We have my doctor, my coach, my friend, my neighbor, my mother, my wife, my teacher. Okay, and you probably just take a look at this, you don't really get it, right? But if you take a look at it on the left, so these are expression or requests that you probably can match. Okay, you can try yourself first before you listen in order to check your answer. Okay, for example, the first one, he asked me to play my music more quietly. Okay, he asked me to play my music more quietly. Maybe my neighbor, because he's not or she is not happy with my loud music. Okay, that is the reason he or she asked me to play the music quietly. Okay, all right, so you can come up with number 2 to number 7. All right, you can try your own. Okay, it doesn't matter, because probably you can get the right answer without checking or listening uh, to the audio. Okay, all right, so that's it for number 2. And number 3, that's what our main activity in this lesson. Grammar focus, reported speech. We're going to focus on reported speech, and the first type of the reported speech is requests. All right, so in order to understand further about reported speech, so let me bring you to the handout. So this is about reported speech. In other words, you can say indirect, sorry, indirect speech. So you can call either one. You can say reported speech or indirect speech. So how do we use it? It is used to talk about or report something that was asked or said in the past. So already in the past. The most common verbs for reporting requests are ask, tell, and say. So Actually, we can use more than this, but in this lesson we're going to focus on three: ask, tell, and say. Okay, so these verbs are used in the past tense to match the past action, because normally when we report someone has said, all right, okay, or someone was done. So we just want to repeat that, make sure that he is she or someone else, can understand what it is. Okay, for example, I say something today and you probably are not with me now, so your friend will report that tomorrow, and then you have to use reported speech. Okay, so I would like to begin with reported speech with requests, and we have four forms. Actually only three, but I make it to four. So we can simply say subject asked somebody, and then subject told somebody, subject said to somebody, or you can say said, subject said. There's no somebody right here. Okay, so we leave it blank. So you can use not to verb or to verb. So what I mean by saying not to verb and to verb, so right here not to verb means our request is a negative, then you have to use not to verb. But whenever our request is a positive, then you can use to verb. So let me show you what I mean exactly. Take a look at these examples. The chef said, give me your money. So me here refer to the chef, and then maybe you are not right there, and then you want to find out what's going on. Okay, so that you have to report. I mean, someone else has to report to you, and then you know exactly about the story. Okay, and as you can see right here, it considered to be a request. Why? Because it doesn't have a subject right here. Okay, so it begins with a verb. Okay, and me here is the chef, and your money is he's talking to me. All right, so that it must be me. Okay, so the answer is the chef told me. So we follow form number two. The chef told me to give him. All right, so because it is a positive, we don't see any negative in this request right here, so that we have to follow the form to verb. So we have to give. Okay, right here, and then to give, and after that me here refers to the chef, then you have to use him or her. I think it should be him, right? And then your money is about he's talking to me, so it should be my money. Okay, or maybe you can use as. So right here we have told, and the second we have asked, and last one you use said to. Okay, but actually you can say said to somebody, also fine. Okay, so we just keep the same. All right, we keep the rest. To give him money, to give him my money, to give him my money, to give him my money. You see that? So they are all the same, but the difference is only the reporting clause right here. Okay, so you can use told, you can use asked, you can use said. It is up to you. Okay, so let me move to next example. The teacher said, don't be late for class. And you see that it's a request. Why? It shows you some kind of request, ask you to do something, and it doesn't show any subject right here at all. Okay, but actually the hidden subject is you. Okay, but I want you to focus on this request and this request. How different? Of course they are different. Okay, and you can see right here, give me your money, and this one, don't be late. And so we can say that this one is a positive request and this is a negative request. So if it is a negative request, so we can follow not to verb. Okay, and if it is a positive one, you can say to verb. Okay, so let me show you what I really mean right here. So the teacher said, you can use said or you can use told. As you can see right here, we have four forms. So the teacher told me, and then told me, teacher told me, the teacher told me, and then it is a negative, you can say not to. And not to what? Not to be. Okay, because the verb is be, so not to be late for class. Or you can say as, the teacher asked me not to be late for class. You see that? You still keep the same answers right here, but what we change is only the the reporting clause. Okay, or you can say the teacher said not to be late. So we say the teacher said not to be late. Okay, so you can copy the rest right here. Okay, one more example. The secretary asked me sit down please. Okay, so she talks to me. Okay, sit down. All right, so it doesn't have any subject at all. And is it a positive or negative? Of course it is a positive. Then you can follow this form. Okay, so you can say the secretary asked me to sit down. Actually, you can use more than this, but I just want to leave it right here only with single form. Okay, the secretary asked me to sit down. Okay, so that's it for this grammar point, everybody. If you have any question, you can leave me questions right here, or maybe you can go to our Telegram group chat. And below is your practice. So I have 10 items, so you can do exercise using as or told. Okay, it doesn't matter right here. But let me tell you a little bit about the first one. You can see this. So what I explained you earlier, a request begins with a verb, right? It can be negative or positive. This one negative, this one positive. Okay, so what about this one? You probably feel like, teacher, is it is a request, isn't it? Of course it is, because the request can be formed as a question. All right, can you vote for me? It's just like someone asks you to vote for him or her. Okay, so that is the reason it considered to be a request. So how do you do this? So when it comes to something like yes no question and it sounds like a request, and then you can just start with a verb right here. Okay, so you don't need to care much about can you or could you, because the meaning is a request, so that you can follow the forms right here above. Okay, so you can use this for. All right, so let me give you the answer for this one so that you can follow along. Okay, so can you vote for me? And the candidate asks us here means you. Okay, I'm sorry, uh, can you vote for me? Yeah, that's correct. So he talked to us, so it's about you mean us. Okay, we are you right here, and me is the candidate. So the answer, you can simply say the candidate asked us to vote for him, maybe him or maybe her. Okay, simply like this. Okay, because us right here means you. Okay, and me is the candidate, and when you talk about candidate, is someone, and then you can say him or her right here. Understand that? So we just stick to the form. Okay, everybody, there's nothing much different right here. Okay, so this is the first example for this practice, and then you can come along, because and I think the rest doesn't have it doesn't have any request like the first one, but I give you the first one as the example so that you don't have any problems. What you need to do is just to go along by following these forms right here. Okay, all right, so once you finish this part, maybe you have to go back to your book and do this exercise. All right, so Amanda is having a surprise party for Albert. Remember that you need to talk about Albert, and then you can use say, tell, or ask. Okay, just like the first example right here. Okay, yeah, as you can see right here, can you bring your favorite music? It is a question, but it is a request, so that you can just follow our form that I just explained a couple seconds ago. Okay, all right, so that's it for today, everybody. So tomorrow I will move on to the next activity. If you have any questions, once again, leave your question right here in our comment below, or maybe you can go to our Telegram group's chat. That's it for today, everybody. Thank you so much. Goodbye.